Yo, what's going on, everybody? So I wanted to do real quick, just go over some Amazon news today, and just tell you a little bit about what's been going on with me. I'm currently uploading a video on product research using Helium, Black Box, and Cerebro, so that'll hopefully show up tonight. Got a hair on my hat, so look for that if you guys are interested in checking out some product research tips. So I've been reading some articles and I've just been trying to figure out what's been going on too. I know that Amazon has this product limit and there's a lot going on in shipping right now. The virus has not, Amazon really hasn't caught up with that. It's hiring 100,000 more workers again. I'm reading about. It's interesting because I want to talk about Amazon news today. I'm reading about how first of all, the post office, and those of you, I'm sure you have noticed that, like, in the middle of the epidemic, like, Amazon stopped using the post office for the most part, uh, but they delivered 30%, or still are part of that, 30% of delivering packages for Amazon in 2019. But they've moved away from it because Amazon wanted a commitment on pricing, and the post office couldn't give that. So then you have Trump saying that the post office is not solvent and it's getting ripped off. They need to raise rates, but the post office numbers are saying if they raise rates, they're going to lose market share to other delivery companies, which sounds like it's true. So what's happening is they lost like three billion plus revenue with Amazon, and I think they were making like $1.6 billion delivering Amazon packages. So it was a huge mistake, or I don't want to say mistake, just huge screw up by the government not to let the post office have a pricing that was set, because Amazon wanted an answer on that and they couldn't get it. So because they had uncertainty on the pricing, they didn't want to be caught off guard later. They keep expanding their own market, and they're expanding their own market, making it bigger and bigger. And they're now the fourth largest logistics company in the country, and they are the biggest logistics company when it comes to delivering Amazon packages. Meaning, sometime in January of 2019, I believe, from looking at the chart, they crossed over as UPS or USPS as the biggest deliverer of packages, because USPS, the postal service, could not commit to a price. So it's a big loss for the postal service. It does not help them. And Amazon's also having a lot of issues with trucking. And apparently, they don't pay very well. They pay like 18% less. I think the article said, less than what the average is. So a lot of truck drivers don't want to deliver for them. There's a trucking shortage, as far as, like, because Amazon's trying to refill all these packages at once. At the same time, Amazon's limiting what we can send in, which is killing me, and I'm sure it's killing a lot of you, because I think they wanted to try to uh, slow it down. But the problem with the huge problem they're causing right now, for me especially, and if it's for me, it's for everybody, is if you're selling a lot, and if even if you're not selling a lot, for everybody, new sellers, you can't send in enough packages. So, like, I'm going to be out of stock again, and it's not because this time it's not because of my manufacturer. It's not because I don't have the money. It's not because I don't have certain parts of the product. It's because Amazon literally won't let me send it in. I'm selling very fast, but they won't let me send in more inventory. Like, I almost have to sell out before I can send more in. They don't understand. Well, they probably do understand. It's going to take 30 days to get in, once it's checked in and everything. So I'm going to be out of stock for how long? Because Amazon's limiting what I can send in. And they won't let you send in enough to have it in there by the time you're out of stock. So their velocity limits, or whatever you want to call it, is just not meeting the what's actually happening in the market. And they're going to find that there are going to be a ton of people that are going to be out of stock come holidays, and it's going to be a huge opportunity for people that are able to get their stuff in stock. So I'm looking for a warehouse, but I can't even get a call back from a warehouse because I think they're probably so busy because Amazon needs those trucking companies in the warehouses. They're grabbing them all up. So it stinks for the seller, because it's hard to get that warehouse to get your product in, unless it's far away, and then you might have to pay for more in shipping, and it's going to be very hard to meet your margins. So something's got to give. It's very frustrating for sellers like me, or I'm sure everybody. You just can't get enough in. If I give you an example, and I'm not saying this to brag or anything like that, some of the products I have variations, I've sold 400 or 500 in the last 3 weeks, and I still can't send in enough to cover what I'm going to need. And it doesn't make sense. Why is Amazon limiting it? Because they're so backed up and they can't handle it. But it's not the right way to do it. They should let you send it in, especially when it's coming from China. It's going to take 3, 4 weeks to get here and get in. It's just, if you don't have it here in the U.S., you're really going to be in big trouble. When those holidays hit, oh man, I'm going to run out for sure. I'm going to run out before the holidays. It just doesn't make sense. But so there's a lot going on in Amazon news, and a lot of competition for trucking. Amazon's upping their prices to the higher, and they're actually starting to do their own trucking now too. The big trucks, but they've basically in the past have, from what this article was saying, and I'm just quoting this article, is like they've kind of like screwed other companies out because just like they'll decide, like, I guess XPO was one of their biggest trucking companies. They decide, like, I'm just not going to use them, and there was like 600 million in revenue they thought they were going to have that they didn't have because Amazon just kind of does what it wants. It's so big, you can't tell it what to do. Amazon's just a huge behemoth of a company, of course. But then now that they need them, they're kind of like just they're paying more because they have to, and they're trying to get, with the virus, there's just such a need for it, such a need for trucking. So, a lot of companies or a lot of drivers are bitter about that, but these big companies are still taking Amazon's business because they're such a big company. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting to hear about the post office too, how they were making 1.6 billion in profit. Like, why would you give that up? Because they had to, because they didn't have any price certainty for the future, because you have people saying not gonna make any money and they're gonna fail. They have to raise their prices when they're saying if they do that, they're gonna lose it anyway to these other companies. They'll do it cheaper. So it's been a big issue. Shipping in general, it's gonna get worked out one way or the other, whether through Amazon doing their own thing, which it sounds like it's going that route, or companies adapting to be able to deliver these packages. But that means higher shipping costs for everybody. There's also more coming over than ever on these ships because everybody's trying to refill inventory they weren't able to refill before. So shipping costs have gone up for international shipping. I've noticed a substantial rise. It's frustrating as a seller because you're trying to keep your prices low. You're trying to compete against a lot of Chinese sellers who I feel like have a massive advantage. Um, and there's no consistency on the policies of Amazon a lot of times. It's funny because I was in Seller Central when I was talking to some of my friends about this. They're saying, I was asking what they thought about the questions, like, do they consistently apply their policies? And I think anybody who's sold on Amazon for long enough knows that's hilarious because if we're being honest, and I am amazed they have the balls to ask that question, but everybody knows they do not at all, I mean, at all apply their policies consistently or for good reason. I mean, ask anybody who's been suspended for no good reason. Ask anybody who's, had a listing taken down. Ask anybody who's had warnings when they haven't done anything wrong. I mean, the policies are completely out of control, but they're such a big company. I understand on some level, but to ask that question is hilarious because they probably got strongly disagree on almost everything. It's a massive and amazing opportunity Amazon is, but there's so many issues when it comes for sellers. They also asked, like, do you think your problem will be solved? I think something like with basically like, do you trust seller support to like fix your issue? Nobody does because everybody knows how horrible it is when you call in a seller support, and they haven't shown any care in the past about it, and don't expect to change it. But if they're asking a question, that's a first step. At least they have the guts to do that. Now, hopefully, they'll take that feedback and actually do something about it. I hope so. But they have so many other issues with logistics and everything else. Such a massive company. Who knows? I hope they have a group in charge of that because that really needs fixed. On the good news, I did get reimbursed for my product, $1,700. That's a total win. I did not expect that to happen. Amazon really came through there. So I've been seeing some positive differences. I got approved for Adidas, so I'll be able to sell Adidas. Hopefully Nike soon. So it takes multiple times. It's frustrating, but I've been seeing some positive things. I'm gonna hope for the best, and I'm gonna cross my fingers and Amazon makes my living, helps me to feed my family. So, it's not all bad. I just wish they would take time out to fix some of these policies that greatly affect people's lives. Because for every success story, there's a story of somebody just getting completely crushed and screwed, even after selling on Amazon for years. So always have that, the lawyers, pay a lawyer. I do seller basics if anybody's interested in that. Highly recommend it. Because they give you discounts when you really need it, when you need help. So I hope everybody's well. Look for that video for product research if you guys are interested in doing some product research. I really am starting to dig helium. It's really cool. I still like Jungle Scout as well. So I'm going to try to talk about some Amazon news on a regular. It's a struggle for everybody. I'm trying to find a 3PL warehouse somewhere in Texas so I can ship my products in, especially standard size. If I do have any luck, I will release it to my students, at least so we can all send our stuff there maybe and maybe get a discount and then ship it in as they, allow it. So I think trying to find a Texas warehouse, especially one in Dallas, would be a good idea. It's just hard to get a hold of them. Like I said, they're busy right now. They don't want to take your call. So anyway, guys, have a great night. I hope you all are well. I'm having a killer couple days here. It's a great thing, but it's also a bad thing because I'm going to run out of stock again. I have some coming in right now, but I'm so limited on my other stuff I can't send it in because they won't allow it. They won't allow it. And if you go around the plan by adding on, you can add on to an existing plan and go around it. They're actually canceling shipments while they're en route, and you get big trouble because if you have 1,000 units coming in and it's en route and they cancel it, guess what? You know how much it costs to reroute a shipment? Thousands and thousands of dollars, especially if it's a bigger item. So that's not going to work. I'm not going to take that risk. There are ways to get around the limit, but don't do it. I saw on the lawyer sites on Facebook groups, people are getting screwed when they're doing that. Big no. So please stay away from that. So that's about it. I'm working on a 3PL warehouse, especially for Christmas. If I don't have thousands of units ready, I'm going to be out of stock and losing thousands of dollars because I'm out of stock. So I'm really trying to work out the logistics because Amazon is really dropping the ball there, but we all have to understand it's a global pandemic and it's affecting everybody, especially Amazon. E-commerce is booming, and that's why you need to get in now. But they're making it harder than ever with the 200 limit. They're making it harder than ever to restock. So it's a challenge for everyone. You got to find ways to beat it. And in order to do that, 3PL logistics, third-party logistics, warehouses are really the only way to do it I can think of. So without trying to beat the system and potentially lose your whole shipment to being out in La La Land and having to reroute it to your house or something. So anyway, guys, hope you have a great night. God bless. And please like and comment, if you will, fbacommute@gmail.com if you have any questions. And, please subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate that. Have a great night. Have a great day. Thanks.